What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Big Stacks Porzingis. I'm back. As y'all can see, we doing this with the Detroit Pistons this time around. First and foremost, I want to thank all of y'all for the support y'all gave with the last series. I recently dropped a video going on about everything that happened with that series and why we're in a new one. Just real quick, sometimes as a creator, I get these weird inspirations, or if something is going wrong with what I'm creating, sometimes I need to pause it or stop it and just restart over the whole thing just to make the best thing that I can make. I appreciate all of the support, all of the feedback, all of the kind words. A lot of people was saying they like that real aspect that I give when doing this, and I'm gonna continue to do that and continue to build on that, and hopefully we can make this even better. We will make it even better than the last one. But yeah, the Detroit Pistons, first thing first, before I even get to the roster, what I want to let y'all in on is I started this at the Start Today mode. They have the, the Myleague, they have the MyGM, then they have a mode that's called Start Today. And what that is basically you start where they are in real life. So as y'all can see, I started this a couple days ago just because anytime I do anything like this, I start it way before I give it to y'all, because I have to go in and do the settings, and I'm going on Operation Sports and different forums to figure out the best sliders as far as simulating, as far as gameplay, just to give myself that best realistic feel, because the generic settings aren't always the best. They're just 50. So sometimes I go on forums and talk to different people who really put as much emphasis on realistic aspects of part of the game. And it's more than just gameplay, because obviously I'm not going to play all 82 games. And a big thing that I dealt with last Myleague series was the fact that I was simulating, and it wasn't transferring or translating the way that I had them playing whenever I controlled them. And I had to, really go in and do my homework and do my due diligence on why that was, because I played a lot of those games at the beginning of the second season, and I got us into like the point where we were 10 games above or ahead of 500, and then when I sim, we were completely different team than what we were when I played. So I had to kind of figure out why that was, or why guys didn't progress, or tendencies, and why that guys did this and did that. And instead of going in and changing every player's tendencies or doing those type of things, I just fell into the forums and really dug deep and really did my research on why things were happening the way that they were. So I started this a few days ago, because in real life they're probably I think is it November 7th? Let me see if it's November. Yeah, so in real life it's November 7th. They just played the Knicks yesterday and won. I watched that game. And I started this probably November 3rd, because I played the game against the Wizards. So I don't know if they won or lost this game in real life, but I played that my damn self just to test out the sliders and to get a real early feel on this team. But yeah, I just wanted to get that aspect of where they were in real life. I wanted to get where the league is in real life. So you have teams like the Knicks who only won one game. You got teams like the Hornets who started off better than people expected. You got teams like the Bulls who were struggling. You got teams like the Suns who were playing good. So I wanted to kind of keep the real feel of what's going on in real life and bring it to my Myleague series, because that's what we all about. That's what y'all about, and that's what I'm about as far as creating, and as viewers, that's what y'all about. We all want that realistic feel and kind of want it to be as real as possible. And I think to give that feel and to make it as authentic as I can, I had to start from the start today. If you look down at the right hand bottom of the screen, we're 4-4. The team chemistry is at 61%. They're trying to capture the real chemistry or the real feel of what's going on in the actual NBA with these teams. So when I go to the roster, you'll already see we got guys like Reggie Jackson, who is actually hurt in real life. He's hurt. Blake Griffin is hurt in real life, but Blake Griffin is kind of cleared to play, but they're going on a game-by-game basis on when he's going to actually play. We've seen videos of him warming up for games and things like that. So I guess they took his injury off because he can play it any day. But they got Reggie Jackson. You see Luke Kennard, and his morale isn't the best. He's kind of discouraged, and they're trying to portray what would actually be going on in real life. I don't think in real life he would be considered discouraged. He's been hooping, and I think they actually have the stats. Yeah, see, already he's averaged 16 points, which is a career high. He's never averaged double digits before, so I don't know why he would be discouraged. But for whatever reason, they put him there, and then they got a bunch of different guys at the bottom here are feeling different ways. Svi Mikhailuk is discouraged. Tim Frazier's hurt. He's also hurt in real life. Thon Maker is uncertain. So they're just projecting what they think could really be going on with a team that isn't starting off too well. They're 4-4. They're decent. They're better than how my Knicks are. But that's neither here nor there. So to start this series, what I always do, y'all know me, I have to do an introductory episode where I'm going on about my plan for the team, about what I want to do, just to have everybody on the same page. It's best for me to be on the same page with y'all, so y'all can get a full idea of what exactly I'm trying to do and how I'm trying to build it, and what plans and goals I have. It just makes sense. I don't want to do a series and then I have a certain plan that I'm going by, and then in the comments y'all saying, hey, trade Blake Griffin, you should do this, and then it's like, that's not even what I'm trying to do. So I just think it's best for me to inform y'all on what route I'm trying to go and how I'm trying to do it, to prevent y'all giving suggestions and giving ideas or feedback about things that I'm not even trying to do. So the main thing I want to do with this team, and the hopes that I have for this team, is that we can compete. I think this team is talented enough, to make the playoffs, first of all, in the East, as they did last year. I think this team is better than the teams they had last year. And not only do I think this team can, make it to the playoffs in the East, but I think this team can really have a shot to have a run with me at the helm. I don't know what they'll do in real life, because I don't know who is doing what or what type of ideas or plans that they have in real life. But I know as far as 2K and me controlling them with this current roster, I feel like, with a move here and there, and it don't even have to be real significant big moves, but this team could be decent. And the way that I say that is because of the start. You got Blake Griffin, he's the face of all of this right now. Last year had his best season ever, was all NBA, and in my opinion, he has MVP capability. And the reason I say that is because you look at a guy who's giving you 25, 8, and 5, shot 36% from 3, almost 46% from the field, 36% from the 3, 75% from the free throw line, 35 minutes a game. Those are MVP numbers to me. You know what I mean? It's Blake Griffin, so he's going to rebound probably a bit better. I can see him getting towards the 8 or 9 at healthy, Blake Griffin, because he didn't play too many games. Not that he didn't play enough games, but he missed some games last year. He's already starting this year off missing games. But I think his passing ability, the way he's scoring and was scoring last year, was incredible. I think if he gets a couple more rebounds, he could be kind of close to that triple-double, or, really stuffing the stat sheet. But he was all NBA last year, so I think you have an all NBA talent. Not that he would win MVP, but he can definitely be in the MVP discussion because of the way that he, stuffs the stat sheet like we just mentioned. And then he also has the explosiveness to go out and give you 30 or 40 points. Blake Griffin has that type of talent where he can really do that at any given moment. But a guy at the power forward position that's giving you 25 plus per night in the ways that he does it, because he has the 3, he's shooting off the dribble, he can do the pick and roll as the screener, he can do the pick and roll as the ball handler, he has supreme IQ, and he just still have some of the athleticism left, but his skill has just went up a whole different level. And I just feel like a guy that dynamic as your best player just gives you so many different chances, so many different ways to win. And then next to him, you have Andre Drummond, who himself isn't probably as talented or as dynamic as Blake Griffin, so he probably won't be an all-NBA player or like this MVP player. But what he is he's an all-star. He's an all-star big man. He can score. He's not a scorer, but he'll give you 15, 16, sometimes even 18 points a game. As we see, averaged 17 and 15 last year. Those are outstanding numbers, and almost 2 blocks and 2 steals a game. That's just outstanding. More than 50% from the field. That's very great. That's all-star. That's perennial all-star numbers. A guy that gave you 15 and 16 and then 17 and 16. Outstanding. And I think when you have those two type of players in the front court, you're just setting yourself up with a real chance to do good. Because the way the NBA is going, everybody's spacing the floor and everybody's shooting threes and playing with a tempo, which is very, very good. But what a lot of teams don't have is that size up front with 2 real good guys, and they can play together. Andre Drummond, for his size, has real good passing ability and real good vision. And then, of course, he doesn't have the explosiveness as Blake Griffin to give you 30 or 40 points, but what he does have is he has the explosiveness to give you 20 rebounds in a game. This is a guy who just was averaging almost 16 rebounds on an average. So that means he had a lot of nights where he was getting 19, 20 rebounds, and a lot of those rebounds are what? Offensive rebounds, but is getting your team a lot of second chance points. That's why when I mentioned a playoff run, I'm looking at a guy like Blake Griffin, who I mentioned as dynamic as he is. Then I'm also looking at a guy like Andre Drummond, who's going to give you extra possessions in the playoffs where every possession matters. When you got a guy down here giving you 20 rebounds or 17 rebounds, averaging 17 rebounds. It's just, you know what I mean? It's just crazy. And then when you look at, so you got, like I said, you have 2 all-star big men. Both can pass. One is a better passer than the other. One is more dynamic than the other. But the other one's down there doing all of the dirty work, physical, almost 2 blocks and 2 steals a game. That's actually some defensive player of the year type shit. Then you also got a guy like Derrick Rose. They added Derrick Rose. This is how they got better from last year. A veteran. Derrick Rose has been at his best since his injury history the last couple of years. And he's been a real good 6-man for them in real life. And I think on the game, he can portray the same type of thing. He's going to come in. He's going to push the ball up. He's going to get the tempo going. He's going to attack the basket. He's going to be able to play with Blake. He's going to be able to play with Drummond. He's going to be able to play with Kennard and get them all opportunities. And then when the game is, getting dry and you need that spurt or you need that, electrifying play, he's going to bring that off of the bench and be able to give you instant scoring and even playmaking ability at times. And his jump shot has gotten a lot better over the past couple of years. Then you add also Markieff Morris, the guy who's been in playoff battles with the Washington Wizards, a guy that's going to come in, he's not going to let nobody bully you, can probably really be the heart and soul of a team, can give you that edge, that grittiness that Detroit really loves and something that represents Detroit basketball. But even within that, he gives you good size at 6'10". He gives you a little bit of a stretch 4 feel. He can even play some small ball 5 at 6'10". Pick and pop, mid-range games, gonna knock down some jumpers, can get in there, get aggressive, can also get some boards. Real solid player. Him and his brother have been real solid. His brother has been better as of late, but Markieff Morris at one point in time was a better twin as well. And he's been, like I said, a part of some real good playoff teams in Washington, so he has that experience as a hard-nosed vet. You have Reggie Jackson. Reggie Jackson is up and down at times. At times he's real solid, real good, and then at times he's just real bad, and you just don't even know why he had $18 million per year as a contract. But I think he could be a good starting point guard for us. I think the steady dose of him and Derrick Rose gives us a lot of leeway with him. I also think that with his contract being on the last year of a deal, if anything went wrong or those moves that we want to make it towards the trade deadline, depending on how we look, he can be somebody that a lot of teams would be willing to pick up on because he has that expiring contract. You get that $18 million right off the book. But I still think there is some benefits that he can add to a team. Like I said, there's times where he can be real solid, he can be real steady. But then there's times where he's hurt, it's times where he's just not knocking down the shots. It's times where he's turning the ball over, he seems out of control. But there are some good things that he can add to us. He can penetrate. And like I said, having Derrick Rose now means we don't have to put too much pressure on him to be this crazy good starting point guard. He can just do what he has to do. And if he doesn't have it certain nights, we still have a Derrick Rose off of the bench. Or if he loses it completely, we can make him come off the bench, which he's shown that he's real good at. Or at his best when he was coming off of the bench. But there's still something there with Reggie Jackson. There's still something there. He's only 29. I'm not saying he's like this crazy great starting point guard, but there is some things that I think could happen. I think he could give us some good things as long as we don't put too much emphasis on adding him. I think to really sum it up, Reggie Jackson right now, he's day-to-day with a short back, but when he gets full healthy, he'll be 80 overall, just like Derrick Rose. I think the more we simplify him and we don't rely on him, the better he's going to be for us. But if we look at Reggie Jackson and we say, we need Reggie Jackson to be our third best player next to Blake and Drummond, he's probably going to disappoint us. But if we look at Reggie Jackson and say we just need him to be a steady guy, he can just be the 5th or 6th guy, then we'll be real good. We won't really depend on him too much, and anything he gives us is just a plus. I think that is where we're going to get the most out of him instead of relying on him to be that third guy for us when that's just not him. But next, we have Kennard. This is the guy right here for me. I think this is the guy that fits well next to our 2 best players. He can shoot lights out. That's his thing. He's just a shoot. But what I want to do with him is I want to turn him into a scorer rather than just being a shooter. I think he has the ball handling ability to get around, to get to his spots. I think he has the pure shot to shoot from anywhere on the floor. And then I think he moves well with and without the ball to be able to get shots. And I think he's playing with a couple of players that complement his game. First of all, we talked about Drummond and his ability to get the offensive rebounds. A lot of times when you get offensive rebounds, those shooters around the perimeter are going to have open looks because everybody else went to crash the glass or went to go get on a fast break early. So those offensive rebounds in real life and on 2K, when you get him, a lot of shooters are open. So the big man gets it, and if he doesn't go right back up, or he's not in a position to go right back up, he can just kick it off to a shooter, and that's where Kennard comes in and complements Drummond. Also, you think about Blake Griffin and how he is attacking the rim and how he's going to demand a defense to help. When you're guarding Blake Griffin, you have to be in help position because he's so big, so strong, and so physical at times that if you just leave a guy one-on-one on an island, Blake Griffin is going to body them and get past them and just, you know, he has that effect where if a bigger, slower guy is guarding him to try to match his size, he'll go around them. If a smaller guy is there to guard him to try to keep up with his foot speed and his quickness, then Blake Griffin is going to body them. So you got to always have somebody in help position to guard Blake Griffin, and him forcing the defense to help can get open looks for Luke Kennard when the defense collapses from helping. Also, when you think about Derrick Rose and his way to penetrate and get inside defenses to make them collapse, same thing. Just like Reggie Jackson, Derrick Rose is going to be a better penetrator than Reggie Jackson, but I've already seen Luke Kennard benefit from playing with a guy like Reggie Jackson at times. So I think Luke Kennard is going to really be that complimentary third guy for Blake and Drummond. So I'm really going to focus on trying to get him to be a scorer. He has the green light anytime he wants it. He's going to start. He's going to be that guy that I want on the floor with Drummond and Blake Griffin almost at all times. I think he's going to be a real big key for us on how far we go and how good we can be as a team. Right now, he's only 74. We're going to need him to be like a 78, 79 by the end of the year. I need that type of jump. Christian Wood, I like Christian Wood. They have him classified as a power forward. We're going to have him being our backup center. He's just real quick up the floor. I think he's going to beat a lot of centers or a lot of big man in transitions when he's running from one end to the other. I think he's real versatile. Is real aggressive, attacks the glass real good, and they even got him with a B+3. So I don't know how high they have his 3-point. They have it at 77, so that's real good. He can be a stretch 5 at times. He can switch it up, pick and pop. He's only 24 years old, 74. Luke Kennard is a 74. There's no way, you know. Yeah, see, Christian Wood went undrafted, and Luke Kennard was what, the 12th overall pick, and they're both the same rating. That just shows you how good Christian Wood has been. And I only want to go up from him. I have placed him with a Luke Kennard type guy, where these are some younger guys that I feel like can really push us forward. And if they really play to the ability I think they can, they'll make us an even better team, because it just gives us depth. You know, Christian Wood is going to be the backup center, and I don't want anybody to feel like they're getting a drop off when Drummond gets out of the game. So, you know, playing with Blake, playing with Luke Kennard, he's going to get some looks at the rim and catch some lobs, even with Derrick Rose. And that's all he has to do is kind of try to protect the rim, kind of rebound, and then run from one end to the other and get the easy buckets for us. Tony Snell. I think Tony Snell is another good complimentary player. Again, of course, Tony Snell isn't a supreme small forward, but when you think about Blake Griffin and all of, you know, the dynamic duo of Griffin and Drummond, you think about Kennard and his scoring ability. Tony Snell fits that mix well. You know, he's going to be a guy that doesn't take the ball out of anybody's hands. He's going to, you know, guard the wings and other, you know, wing scores on the opposing team. He's going to knock down threes when he can. And he's just going to try to, you know, bring some playoff experience to us. And that's all you can really ask from that position. D and 3 and some experience and some veteran leadership at 27 years old. He's on the last year of his deal as well. So if things go wrong, or if we need to make some things happen as far as contracts, he can be another guy as far as trading when you think about how contracts is and making contracts match. But I like him to fit this team as a starting small forward as of right now. Sekou Doumbouya hasn't played in real life. You know, he had a little injury or whatever going on, but he's going to play with us in real life. And I look at him and I see Pascal Siakam. I really think he could be a Pascal Siakam guy. And we're going to try to have him make that same jump. As y'all know, Dwayne Casey was there to get, you know, Pascal Siakam, and now he has him. So there's something going on there, and that's definitely a reason why the Pistons draft him. And he's also his favorite player is Pascal Siakam. That's why he was really excited when the Pistons did draft him, because he knows the history of Dwayne Casey and Pascal. So we're going to try to have him in that same mold, and he's going to be off of the bench, obviously, because Blake Griffin is playing the power forward or whatnot. But depending on how he plays and how he shows us he can handle playing the 3, he could come up and overcome that small forward spot, because him and Snell are the same rating. You know, they're not too far apart from a rating aspect. It's just right now Tony Snell has the experience and is an actual veteran, so he has a leeway right now. Then Langston Galloway, another guy who I like. former Knick, can come off the bench and knock down some shots and get hot sometimes, kind of a combo guard. And I like that. I think teams need that. I think you really, really need guys who can come in and fill it up when given a chance. And if they're hot, they'll run away with it. If they're not, then they don't have it that night. But I like Langston Galloway for when he can add that dynamic to our team. Also on the last year of his deal as well. Bruce Brown, a young guy who I like. I'll put him in that same boat with Christian Wood, Luke Kennard, now Sekou Debonye, now him. I think we have some nice core of young guys. Again, none of these guys are like the cream of the crop, Jason Tatum, De'Aaron Fox, all-star level players yet. But I feel like they can be good players to help, a really good team, to be real good depth players on a really good playoff team. And the more and more experience they get, the more better we will be. That's how the Raptors won their championship. They had a lot of depth. They had a Fred VanVleet. Even though he was hurt, they had an OG Anunoby. They have Norman Powell. You know what I mean? Pascal Siakam grew into it. So I want to have that same system, especially with Dwayne Casey being the head coach of the team. I want to have that team where it's like, we may not have a bunch of cream of the crop rookies, cream of the crop young talent, but we're going to develop a system and develop these players to where they can contribute. And that's all we really need. And as long as we have a Blake Griffin and Drummond, two good all-stars, we surround them with a bunch of really talented role players who at times we're going to have moments where they look like stars, then the sky's the limit. But yeah, defensively, Bruce Brown's gonna be real good. He's real, versatile. They have him as shooting guard, small forward. He can even play some point guard. He's starting point guard for the Pistons against the Bulls the other night. Thon Maker, of course, we all know Thon Maker, hella potential on the last year of his deal. He's only 22, 7-1. He can kind of shoot the three as well, but he's gonna have to prove to me that he's ready to get those minutes because Christian Wood right now has an edge. Tim Frazier is a guy that you always see with a job. A steady, solid point guard that always is on a roster because he just adds that good, on-floor leadership. And that's going to be very, very crucial and sometimes needed when things are getting out of hand or whatnot, especially in the playoffs where every possession counts. Svi Mykhailiuk, a guy that I really, really like and a guy that I'm really, really high on. The reason I'm really high on him is because he's really big at 6'8", and he has a crazy shooting ability. Again, he complements Blake Griffin and Drummond and Derrick Rose and Reggie Jackson, those penetrating point guards. So if we can get him to how I want him to be, like a 72 overall, continue to get that jump shot going, get that confidence up, and get a real legit role in his system. You know what I mean? Having him and Luke Kennard on the floor at the same time with Blake Griffin out there could be real, real crazy. Because, who are you going to leave? You got to kind of pick your poison. And as long as you have Blake Griffin, Derrick Rose penetrating, making the defense collapse, him and Kennard being on the wings is going to be real, real crucial and real, real vital. You know what I mean? And I think that can give us an extra dynamic. His shooting is going to always, keep him in the mix and keep him in the fold because he can really, really shoot it. Really, really can shoot it. Was real good at Kansas, and he's an underrated athlete in my opinion. So we're gonna clump him in with the Bruce Browns and Sekou and Luke Kennard. We're gonna, these are those young players I'm talking about. Then Jordan Bone, Kyrie Thomas, and Louis King. Louis King and Jordan Bone are on a two-way contract. Kyrie Thomas is on an actual official roster. But those three guys, I grouped them into the same bunch as well. They're all going to get opportunities, especially Kyrie Thomas, because I like his scoring ability. He can really shoot the ball as well. So I want to see if he can, contribute that to us in this level. And Louis King, I like his size. His versatility coming out of Oregon. 6'8", power forward, small forward, real long, athletic, can shoot it a little bit. And then Jordan Bone is just coming from a good program in Tennessee, already 21 seasoned, ready to get after it. So he'll probably get a chance depending on injuries. But I know for sure Louis King will get a chance. I know for sure Kyrie Thomas will get a chance. And then that'll really be that. But that's really my vision, man. Competing with this team, like I said, I think we have enough to go somewhere, and hopefully we do. Thank y'all for watching. Big Stacks Porzingis. I'm out.